All right, let's dive into a really powerful and maybe a little controversial mental model for making big changes in your life. It's called the identity fraud hack.
You know, we're taught our whole lives that honesty is the best policy, that lying is bad. But what if I told you that the single most effective, most powerful lie you could ever tell is the one you tell yourself? Now, hold on. This isn't about deceiving other people. This is about a very specific, very strategic lie that's designed to do one thing, to completely change who you are from the inside out. I mean, think about that classic advice, just be yourself. It sounds great, right? But what if yourself, right now, is kind of anxious or unmotivated or just not the person you actually want to be? If you just be yourself, you're staying stuck. And this is exactly where the hack comes in. And just to be clear, no, this has nothing to do with banks or credit cards. The only fraud we're committing here is on our own self-limiting beliefs. So here's the core idea, and it's actually pretty simple. You decide on the person you want to become, and then you start acting as if you are already that person. Right now, today. This isn't fake it till you make it. It's more like act it till you become it. The focus here is all on the action, not on the faking. And I really want to stress this point. You're not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. The only one you're really tricking here is your own brain. You're basically convincing it to break out of the old, comfortable patterns that it thinks are the absolute truth about you. Now, this might sound a little bit like wishful thinking, I get it, but it's actually grounded in some pretty solid science about how our brains really, truly work. And the key to this whole thing is a concept called neuroplasticity. You see, we used to think that our brains were pretty much fixed once we hit adulthood. But what we know now is that they're constantly changing, adapting, and rewiring themselves based on our thoughts and, this is the crucial part, our actions. Your brain isn't just a passive camera recording what's happening. No, it's an active creator. It's constantly building its sense of you based on the evidence you feed it. So if you consistently feed it the evidence that you're a person of action, guess what? It's going to start to believe you are a person of action. So here's how that rewiring process actually works, broken down into 4 steps. First, you act as if. This creates a kind of conflict, a mismatch between your new actions and your old identity. Now, your brain absolutely hates that kind of inconsistency. So to solve the puzzle, it starts to form new neural pathways. It starts to rewire itself. And before you know it, that initial lie becomes your new authentic truth. Okay, so the theory is cool, but how do we actually put this into practice? Let's get down to the action plan. This quote right here is the absolute heart of the hack. You don't think your way into a new way of acting, you act your way into a new way of thinking. Let that sink in. The action has to come first. The new mindset, that's the result. So here it is, your action plan. First, get super clear on your ideal identity. Who do you want to be? Step 2, identify the key actions that person takes every day. What do they do? Then, step 3 is simple. Schedule and, most importantly, execute those actions. Do them, even if you don't feel like it. And that brings us to the final crucial step. Acknowledge the evidence. You have to consciously tell yourself, see, this is proof I'm becoming that person. You're literally feeding your brain the data it needs to change. And this, right here, shows the mental shift perfectly. You've got the waiting brain on one side, it's passive, it's waiting for the magical feeling of confidence or motivation. On the other side, you've got the acting brain. It knows that action is what creates confidence and motivation. It's the huge difference between saying, oh, I'm not that kind of person, and saying I am becoming that person through my habits. That simple shift, it's an absolute game changer. So, what's the end game here? What happens when this all works? Well, you successfully commit identity fraud against your old, limited self, and you become the person you were actually meant to be all along. Look, at the beginning, it's going to feel like a conscious effort. You might have to force yourself to do the new actions. But with repetition, your brain strengthens those new pathways, and eventually the behavior becomes automatic. It just becomes second nature. It's no longer something you do. It's simply who you are. And this is the beautiful paradox of the whole thing. The fraud part, it's just temporary. It's like scaffolding you use to build a house. Once your new identity is built, once it's your genuine reality, that scaffolding just falls away. The change you engineered is now permanent, and it's 100% authentic. So I want to leave you with this thought. The person you want to be isn't some far-off fantasy. They're just a collection of actions and habits. And you have the power to start performing those actions right here, right now. So the only real question is, will you start acting like them today?